So, what is pissing you off this week?
Oh my gosh, Kyle. Yeah, I mean, it's always something. That's for sure. And this one, a lot of times it's kind of old man get off my lawn sorts of issues that are funny, but this is one that actually means something to me and is just stunning when I heard this. But it's, in Colorado, I don't know if most people know this. Elected officials, when they get pay raises, they're not allowed to enjoy that pay raise per the Colorado Constitution. They're not allowed to enjoy that pay raise until after they get reelected. And I mean, our listeners can look it up for themselves. It's Article 12, Section 11 of the Colorado Constitution that just effectively says, hey, if you're an elected official, there's a pay raise that's coming. You don't get to enjoy that pay raise until after you stand for reelection. And the reason behind that is, you hear all these, talk and discussion about congressmen that vote in their own pay raises and do those things. But we don't want a circumstance where elected officials are in this for the money.
Yeah.
Right. And if it does come down to a pay raise, they should be able to explain that to the voters before they're re-elected to office. That's what the Colorado Constitution says. Well, our district attorney in El Paso County, Michael Allen, has figured out a creative way to get around the Colorado Constitution because he, no kidding, Kyle, wants a $54,000 pay raise.
Wow.
$54,000 pay raise. I think it represents somewhere more than 25% increase in his salary. When we're struggling to have the dollars to pay everybody else in local government, in particular in El Paso County, when we're struggling to fill potholes in El Paso County, this DA thinks that he deserves, Michael Allen, district attorney for El Paso County, thinks he deserves a $54,000 pay raise. Now, maybe he does. I certainly don't think so. Don't think he needs a 25% increase in his pay. But I'm guessing even Michael Allen doesn't think that he deserves this for a couple of reasons. Number one, he hasn't actually taken this request to the Board of County Commissioners. He sent his lackeys to do it for him. So hasn't even had the stones to go to the county commission and say, hey, I want this $54,000 pay raise. No, I'm going to send my lackeys to ask that question, to demand that the county commissioners pass this $54,000 pay raise for me. Not even willing to do it himself. But here's the other thing, and this is the thing that is the most despicable in all of this, Kyle, that Michael Allen is doing as the DA of El Paso County. And that is not giving the voters a chance to have transparency into this process. I mean, there's a reason he could have asked for this $54,000 raise 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, right? And then not exercised it until the upcoming term when he's reelected to office. But he doesn't do that. What does he do? He waits. He waits until ballots go out, maybe even till after the election's over, to then have, after he's safely reelected to office, to then have the county commission pass this $54,000 raise for him. I mean, we have seen unethical behavior out of this guy, Michael Allen, the district attorney for El Paso County, time and time and time again. And here he is one more time being unethical to the people that put him in office. And he's unethical because he's asking for this demanding this $54,000 raise and not giving the voters a chance to know about it before the election. It is absolutely ridiculous. I hope the legislature passes a piece of legislation to prevent this from happening in the future. They can make that more restrictive. And I hope they call it Michael Allen's law to prevent guys like Michael Allen from being able to do this kind of shit again in the future, because it is absolutely ridiculous. It lacks transparency and it is unethical beyond belief. And that's an office where you need somebody with the highest moral and ethical character in order to carry out the incredible responsibility of public safety for the people of the community that they represent.
Yeah, you want those people to trust in those officials, and this doesn't sound like the type of thing that does that. So
I mean, how can they trust? I mean, literally waiting until ballots have gone out to go ask for this or demand this $54,000 pay raise. Go make the effing argument, right? Make your case. If you think you deserve to make $54,000 more, you should be able to make that case to the people.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I mean, the guy's got ethical problems as it is, and I don't think he's worth $54,000 more. But if he believes it, and apparently he doesn't believe it either, because if he did, he'd actually go to the people and make the case as to why he deserves $54,000 more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And I hope the county commission hears this. I hope every listener we have hears this and calls them and says, hey, since this guy waited till the absolute last minute, don't give him a $54,000 pay raise. Don't give him a $20,000 pay raise. Maybe that's what he's worth. But if he had actually done this by the way it's supposed to happen, he could have asked for that a while back before the voters are voting in this election, to do this with a little bit of an integrity. But because there's no integrity involved, don't give the guy a dime.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if this comes out at all before, if even anybody has an opportunity to have it factor into their vote.
And by the way, Michael Allen, you get a hold of this, call us. We want to have you on our podcast, and you can make the argument for why you deserve a $54,000 pay raise and why you deserve it in a circumstance where you lack the transparency in order to ask the voters to understand why you're getting that money. Come on, tell us why you're doing it the way you're doing it right now.
That'd be great. Love to have him on to hear that one.
Absolutely. He won't do it. I mean, there's no excuse, Kyle. No excuse at all.
Well, thanks again for another great episode. Again, this is Kyle Blakely and Mark Waller. This has been another episode of We Have Issues. Again, great guest today, our mayor here in Colorado Springs, Mayor Yemi Mobolade. Hope everybody really enjoyed listening to the episode. Also remember, go on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts and like or subscribe to this podcast so you can continue to get this quality information and analysis week after week. But we will be back next week. We're down to 3 weeks before the election. So over the next few weeks, we'll be back with a look at some of the things that are happening as we get close to November 5th. And remember that on November 5th, we're going to be doing a live episode of the podcast in partnership with the Gazette here in Colorado Springs, broadcasting live from their newsroom. We're going to have on a bunch of guests as we look at the federal, state, and local issues, the returns coming in, and what that means for all of us. So appreciate you being here.
All right, Kyle, another great episode in the books.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, man.
Take care.
Later.
Bye-bye.